The man glanced downstairs without thinking and witnessed a murder. Trembling, he pulled out his phone to call the police. But the living room light suddenly flickered on. His wife had gotten up to get a drink. Seeing his cover about to blow, he rushed to turn off the light, but it was too late. The killer had already noticed him. To spare his family the terror, he didn't tell his wife. After she returned to their room, he carefully climbed back to the balcony to check if the killer had spotted him. Unexpectedly, their eyes met. Realizing he was exposed, he searched for his phone to call the police, but the phone's battery had vanished. He frantically looked around. Then he noticed the killer counting the floors and heading toward his building. Sensing danger, he quickly got up, locked all the doors, and pressed his ear against the door to listen for the killer's footsteps. Yet as time passed, the killer never arrived. Perhaps he hadn't been spotted after all. Summoning his courage, he opened the door to check. The next instant, it all proved to be a dream. Waiting too long, he had fallen asleep without realizing it. He made his way to the living room, daring not take another step toward the balcony. It was now 4 a.m. The killer might still be unaware of his presence. After a moment's thought, he decided against calling the police, but he didn't know the woman downstairs wasn't dead yet. She reached for her phone and dialed emergency services, but the killer hadn't left. Discovering the woman still clung to life, he continued his assault until her breath finally ceased. Dawn broke in an instant. Han Shengshuan found police swarming the building below, staring at the bloodstains on the ground. His heart felt torn. Before heading to work, he returned to the crime scene and stood where the killer had been the night before. He looked up toward his home, suspecting the killer had spotted him. A wave of unease washed over him. With no surveillance at the crime scene and no other cameras capturing the killer, and the victim not being a resident of the complex, no one came forward as a witness. This made the case difficult to find the killer quickly. Kim Sang-ho had no choice but to lead his team through the complex, questioning residents. He believed someone had seen something, but no one dared admit it. Kim Sang-ho knew they feared retaliation from the killer. Han Sang-hoon had witnessed the murder last night. He drifted through the day in a daze, his mind filled with images from the previous evening. Returning home after work, he found the property manager waiting inside. She delivered a confidentiality agreement, once signed by the residents. They must claim ignorance to any police inquiries. The victim wasn't a resident of the complex. They couldn't let a stranger impact the neighborhood's property values. Han Sang-hoon was furious. How could they be so selfish? How were they any different from murderers? Yet he didn't have the courage to report it either. That night, standing on the balcony, he fell deep in thought. After pondering for a moment, he decided to write an anonymous letter to the police. He described everything he had seen, but just as he was about to send it, he saw the family photo on the table. To ensure the safety of his wife and daughter, he ultimately gave up on reporting it. He thought this would keep the peace, but the killer was watching him from the shadows.